Welcome into Becoming Influential. I'm your host, Tamara Brown, and today we're doing something a little different. We're going to be recapping an incredible few months sitting down with some digital architects who are literally shifting the culture from lifestyle gurus to branding experts to the women balancing it all as powerhouse parents or maybe their wife of athletes. So today we're bringing you a masterclass in creativity by revisiting those conversations and the most impactful tips from those guests. Get ready to be inspired because we're looking back at what it really means to build an influence that lasts. And that's why we're here, because we want to become influential. And the first step to that is building a great brand. And so before you even get into the booking production days and things, what's like the most important thing, like the foundation that people should be starting with?
So really having that one idea. I mean, if you know who you are, you have your mission statement, and you have that one idea, that's where you always want to start. People, well, all of us, every person on the planet gets distracted. And you know that. I mean, when we scroll, we're doing things, we get ideas and we're like, this is the best idea ever. And then like a year later, it doesn't work. And so maybe a month later, we're like, this is the best idea ever. And they jump around. You just have to find a problem and you have to find a solution. So even if you're someone who doesn't sell a physical product, what is your solution? What is your one word answer that will make people feel something? Once you get that down, then you kind of have an idea. I always tell her, no, you don't want to rush to the logo and the website and all those things. It's going to change. Everything evolves and reframes over time. We've redone our logo multiple times. None of that is set in stone. So wasting all of that time, effort, and money on looking pretty online really is a lot of BS. But building systems and foundations will help you. So the analogy I've always used, and I've used this since we started the company, is you have to build the basement and the foundation of a building before you build the penthouse. The penthouse is the prettiest, it's the showiest, it's what everybody loves and wants to see, but the foundation has to be solid. Otherwise, that pretty little penthouse, as soon as a storm comes through, is going to get knocked over and your whole building's gone. So why waste all of that money on crap to get to spending the most on what really honestly means the most to least to your brand? So that's the analogy I've always used for it, just because people have to kind of see things visually or get smacked in the face by, losing money, which unfortunately happens a lot. So there's just a lot of things people have to look out for. But I think that that's kind of when we work with people from the beginning on, or when we did in the very beginning of our business too, it's a lot of lessons learned. So be smart and build the systems that make your life easier before you pick the pretty font.
Oh, I love that. Like that analogy was so beautiful. And I feel like when you can visualize that in your head, which I feel like even a lot of the content on your Instagram too, like you do a great job of breaking like your tips down, not just your services that you offer, but the tips that you have for building your brand. It's like you paint that visual picture in our minds and it sticks, which is very, very important, which is what people want to do in their content too. So it sticks to the people that are seeing it.
Yep.
And so I'm learning a lot right now, selfishly, but I hope everybody online too, watching too. We're bringing in all these influencers every single week who are talking about how they got their start, but this is the foundation, talking with you and learning how to build it from scratch. So Kristen, I'm just so happy that you're here. Andressa's Instagram page that I have up right now. Andressa, how did you get started with content creation? I started off, listing all of the many hats that you wear, but how did you figure out your niche?
So it kind of changed a little bit throughout the years. Like my main thing is like being yourself. Um, in my early 20s, I loved posting a lot of fitness content, a lot of recipes. So, I got a lot of followers from that alone. And then as I transitioned into becoming a mom and a business owner, my content kind of, shifted a little bit. And my thing is I just like being myself. If I want to post a video of me going on a walk or going on a run, or I'll post that. Or if I'm like, oh, I want to just, post a little bit of like my hair care routine and some tips on how to like get beautiful long hair, I'll post that. And then I also love posting like family content because, family for us is everything. So a little bit of everything. And then as well as the pilot videos because my husband's a pilot and, we're always, especially during the off season when we have like more time, we're always flying everywhere. We love to travel. And those videos always do so well because it's something so different. And people are always like, aren't you scared of being on that tiny plane? I'm like, no, I trust my husband and we just like love our adventures and the kids are really into it now. So that is like also like really a content. People love watching those, especially like we also inspire a lot of people who do want to become pilots, and we kind of get a little bit of everything.
How did you figure out what type of content to create specifically? When you're going from long form to short form, those are two totally different platforms, but you create like a variety of things. Like some are reporting, some are like hilarious, like fan reactions to the game. Like you have a good blend of all types of content.
Yeah, I just kind of think of what a sports fan would want to see and what they're interested in. Some people want takes, some people want the news, some people want reactions, some people just want like relatable content where it's like trending sounds and kind of just like, relatable content for a fan that's winning or maybe a fan that's losing at the time. And some people, you know, they're fans because of the game day experience. So they want to see like game day outfits, tips for going to their first game, or any like game day kind of hacks, and vlog content as well. So I try to serve all the audiences. It can become a lot, but I just know that there's people that come to sports platforms for different things. So I just kind of want to make sure I have a wide variety.
And we're just getting started with our highlight reel, but we have so much more to uncover right after the break, so don't go anywhere. Becoming Influential will be right back. Welcome back into Becoming Influential. I'm Tamara Brown, and this is a special edition of our show. We're going to get right back into more gems and tips from the conversations that I've had with influencers and content creators over the last few months. I just feel like for you, I'm so happy that like you haven't made a graphic, you haven't used ChatGPT. Like it's so authentic to you and no one can copy it. And like when I see them on my feed, I know it's you. I know like it's not anyone else, it's you. And I feel like that's what makes social media incredible, is that like everyone's able to create their own brand to become influential, which is the name of my show. And social media can be such a dark place. Your account, I feel like, is a bright spot. It's like, even if you are feeling in a low space, you might need some motivation. Your account is the perfect thing for that, where you don't feel like I'm not competing with her page. I'm not, her page isn't making me feel uncomfortable or less than or anything like that. Your page is doing the exact opposite. How important is it to have pages like yours that are just the light in social media that can be such a dark place?
Yeah, no, and you phrase it so beautifully, because I think that social media can be such a highlight reel.
Mm-hmm.
And I go back and forth with this, because I think too, the more you meet people and you surround yourself in a community of everyone's kind of posting things, you start to feel a little bit of pressure of like, well, am I posting enough, or am I doing this right? But when you recenter yourself and realize, well, I got this far because this was my idea, and my path's not supposed to look like somebody else's path, and you're not focused on like the algorithm and the views and the likes, then that's where just the
The magic.
creativity comes in. Yeah, and just I think that there's just so much power behind only posting when you have like good energy,
Mm-hmm.
and you're feeling good enough to post. So then that way, that was my goal of like, I simply used the words that I wanted to hear to be like, let me put this out there. And yeah, no, I need it in. It's social media too. You sit there and you compare, right? And it's comparison is what is it?
The thief of
Comparison is
joy.
the thief of joy.
Yeah.
And it is. So hopefully, like, I just wanted to create a space where people can go and just be like, ah, okay, I just needed to know, like, how I'm feeling is okay to feel, and I'm not alone in that.
I love that. And I think for me, when your page, when you just said, like, I want to post when I have good energy. With that in mind, a lot of influencers feel like they have to post every day or 3 times a day or whatever it may be. What is your game plan when it comes to posting, your Post-it notes and your motivation? Is it, first of the month? Is it whenever you have good energy? What's your process like?
Yeah, well, my main priority is if I don't feel like posting, I'm not posting, right? Like
Period.
it's just energy is currency, so I'm only putting out what I want people to receive. However, I think like holidays, New Year's, like just happened, Christmas, so anything that comes at a time where people need a moment of feeling like you're not alone right now, and also just giving a little bit of inspiration. Like, it's okay to restart and reset. So, like, New Year's resolution is huge for some people, but I feel like it puts a lot of pressure and can lead to disappointment because we're thinking like all of a sudden I can create all these changes just because it hit January 1st. But with Thoughts with H, we normalize being able to restart every Monday, every first of the month, every day if you need to. And so I think that prioritizing how to post comes from like, well, when do people usually need the most boost, and usually it's like a Monday because we always feel like a little Sunday scary, so Monday feels good to get. But yeah, no, just whenever it feels right. I probably should have more of like a little content plan that would probably help me out a little. But
When was that moment that you decided that you wanted to make Fab Foodie in the city?
It actually started with Yelp. I started on Yelp as just checking in different places, and no one knows this. So a lot of people don't know this. So when you log into Yelp and you take so many pictures, you can actually request to be Yelp Elite, and then you can go to different events that Yelp creates throughout your city, right? So through those different events, I said, well, I can actually take this up a notch and go out on my own, not only through Yelp, but go out on my own and assist businesses with engagement and increasing their views and customers, and that's what I did.
Wow. Well, first of all, thank you, because I am an avid Yelp user. So as soon as you said Yelp, I said, hold on, Yelp.
Sign up to be Yelp Elite, and you will, get invited in, and you can go to different events in your city that are super fun. You get to meet some of my best friends to this day have come from Yelp Elite.
I'm gonna let her get into her background. I don't want to spoil too much of it. So Amber, I'm gonna dive right in, because when you graduated from Virginia Tech, I'm sure that you didn't imagine you'd be doing what you're doing right now.
Absolutely not. It was not my plan at all whatsoever. I originally, when I first graduated, I was like, you know what? I'm going to be 22, right? And that's kind of what my mom even told me. Everything was her idea from the start, right? So, graduated from Virginia Tech. I had a background in multimedia journalism, so similar to what you're doing, funny enough. And started my own website just for fun. Again, I'd always been into fashion and beauty and all that fun stuff, and just decided to kind of do it as a hobby, and it turned into a full-time job. So here we are. Kind of fell in my lap.
And for, a typical influencer, a lot of them are in, bigger areas like New York City, Los Angeles, Miami. How did you carve out that here in the Hampton Roads area?
So when I first started, there was no sort of like real influencer presence in the Hampton Roads area. Like, you had to deep dive to find girls that did exactly what you did, right? And it was still freshly new in 2018, way back when. That seems like just yesterday, but it was a really long time ago. And I was born and raised here. Again, I didn't even leave the state of Virginia to go to college, as we know. So I've always just loved Virginia deep down with my whole heart. And so I always wanted to support the small businesses here locally as well. And so I kind of just was like, why not? Let's go for it. And decided to try to build my presence here. And it worked. And honestly, I met tons of girls throughout the process that had the exact same mindset as I did. And we ended up becoming super close friends and still talk to this day.
I just want to point out, this is some of Amber's content that you can see. And she does a bunch of different outfit stuff, but she also does food, and she also does like Dunkin'. I've seen you do. You've done different brands. You've done car commercials. I've seen you do Busch Gardens. Do you have a niche? Do you kind of dip your hands in a bunch of different areas? Where would you classify your category as?
So I love this question. And in the past 2 years, I do feel like influencer marketing has dove more into a niche specific world, to say the least. And a lot of people have niches, and that's totally fine. I think that's great. I think that you are super targeted with your audience that way, but I am never going to be a single dimensional person. I learned that really quickly about myself, and I decided that my niche was going to be lifestyle, which isn't really a niche because you talk about just about everything. So I decided that was what was true to me, and that's what I love to talk about, was my life as a whole, whether that be having a baby, fashion, hunting, maybe a local hotspot that I just love completely. I really love to kind of hit it all because that's who I am as a person. So that's what I want to portray on my platform as well.
I'm gonna show you some love here because I was digging. Girl, you post a lot. I was digging and digging and digging and digging and digging, trying to figure out one, when you started, and I couldn't even get that far because I was going to probably be here till next week scrolling because you're always posting content. But girl, you hit 100K. This was an amazing post. Like, I loved the video that you created to celebrate 100K. How long did it take you to get to this point on this post? And if you're looking at this right now, this is Amber Miller's Instagram. You should go follow her because, like she said, she has her hands in everything. But how did you get to 100K? How long did it take? How often did you have to post? Like, give us the foundation to how you got there.
So when I first started, I posted just about every day. Since then, I've kind of retracted just a little bit into posting to about 5 times a week is like my sweet spot. But again, since I started in 2018, so many different platforms have even came out, you know, TikTok. They didn't even have Reels when I first started, which is like a massive way to grow now. So again, things have changed since I started and evolved, and we've had to kind of roll with the punches and make it work and dive into new things that I wasn't originally used to. But when I first started, it actually was so much easier to grow, in my opinion, than it may be now, right? There are a lot more people in the space. People are finding out more about it, how to do it and how to be a part of it. And people can actually be successful doing it. And it's not viewed now as, you know, this little girl jumping around on Instagram, right? It's actually viewed as a real job now, where it may not have been back then. But I will say it was tireless hours working, and people see all of the bright and shining photos and videos on Instagram, as you know, and what they don't see is the 12 to 14-hour days behind the screen, editing, emailing, building a website, you know, engaging with your audience, answering DMs, all of the things that go on behind the scenes that actually make the pretty pictures happen.
I hope you're getting as much out of this as I have. And if you're looking for more, we'll be back right after the break. Your husband plays on the Broncos. You're all having an incredible season. Enough about the on the field stuff, though. I've seen all the highlights and stuff from the games. It's exciting. But for me, what's even more exciting are your game day outfits. Every single game, you're popping up on my algorithm for good reason. You should be on everybody's For You page. Can you walk us through the creative process of coming up with those outfits? Because it's not just, you know, going to the mall and buying something and putting it on. Like, your outfits are 10 out of 10.
Oh, thank you. I mean, they just kind of come to me. They just like pop into my head. But I think the base layout is things that I would like to wear or that I would wear outside of football, but finding space on them that some sort of customization like would make sense. The coloring of the team also kind of matters to me on what the outfits look like, if it's a monochrome look or not. But I think the base layer is always, would I actually wear this if it wasn't customized outside of football?
And do you think your career being a model plays a lot into that? Because I truly see that in your outfits. Like, it's not something that your typical like athleisure that you would wear to a game. It truly looks like you're walking down a runway.
Yeah, I definitely think that my job has heavily influenced what I'm comfortable wearing to football games or really any sporting event. Yeah, I definitely think that my job, having put me in heels since I was like 18 or so, and been living in them ever since, that I'm just more comfortable wearing, you know, a stiletto in a stadium. So I do think that what would typically seem a little more uncomfortable, or maybe even like not necessarily evening wear, but just more like indoor event, I kind of feel comfortable wearing to a sporting event.
Well, girl, you make it look easy because your outfits, I mean, the attention to detail from, I think I saw one where your collars had his initials on it. I've seen like your belt with the Bronco on it, the hat with the belt with the Bronco on it. I mean, the attention to detail is incredible. Do you have a stylist, or do you just have that artistic mind in you naturally?
I definitely have a creative edge, so a lot of it is me, but I don't have a stylist. I think the closest to a stylist I have is Pinterest.
Oh.
And that's like me kind of looking at more of a vibe. So if I do want to wear more of a sneaker or kind of look a little more edgy, I'm typing in like streetwear outfits. And so it doesn't ever have to be NFL life outfit vibe for cold weather. Like it's not like that. It's just I kind of have a vibe I want to go for that weekend, or if I know 2 weeks out, then I kind of just look at what maybe is trending and how I can kind of customize it to make a little more sense. The color coordination, that type of stuff. But it's me and Pinterest against the world.
Well, everyone watching right now, you just heard it straight from Emily. Like, please go download the Pinterest app if you haven't already. Don't just use it to make your wedding vision board. You can also use it for your outfit of the day, outfit of the game. That's a great tip, Emily. And now I'm curious too. Are you someone who plans it the week of? Like, do you already have your outfit for this weekend, or did you plan it like kind of weeks in advance? How long does this outfit process take?
So this year I wanted to be a little more on it because last year it was week by week, and that was a lot more stressful. So I thought, okay, this year, new team, like new vibe, let's kind of get it figured out. And then when we got here, everyone was like, okay, well, the weather is kind of bipolar, so it can be December and no snow and kind of warm. And that's exactly what happened. So this year I did have it fully planned out. I went very type A and like made a Canva spreadsheet with all of the ideas and vibes on it. That's not my norm, but I did do that this year and kind of worked week by week, tweaking things for the next week. But playoffs have been, okay, so let's find something quickly. And then even this weekend, the last playoff game, it said it was going to be 50s. Now it's in the 28 range. So slight panic is happening in my brain. But I have a backup if I need it, but it's just not as cute as the vibe I want to go for. But
I have full faith in you, and I'm just impressed. One, I was already shocked by the Pinterest, but then two, going from Pinterest to Canva to truly map it all out, I love it. Like, the attention to detail is there, which is why when I'm looking at your content on TikTok and Instagram, I'm like, this makes so much sense because so much thought has gone into it before it even makes it to our social media platform. So I love that. And so now I'm curious too, you brought this up too with, new team being on the Denver Broncos last year, or was it last year or the year before? You were in a much warmer location. Yeah. What do you enjoy more from putting together outfits? Is it more of a sunny every single game day, or do you like it being with the Broncos now where the weather is so unpredictable?
As much as the unpredictable element is not that fun, having a range in the wardrobe department, not everything has to be for hot, warm weather. Being able to do the big fur coats and like a cuter warm weather outfit, I get kind of the best of both worlds here. So I think I like that better than just having my, crop tops and whatnot.
Yeah, no, I totally understand. I feel like for most people, like they love fall because you can accessorize a lot more than you can in the summer. So totally see that 100%. What's your favorite part of being a WAG? Everyone else has their perception of what a WAG is and what it's like, but you're the one walking in the shoes. We're not. What's your favorite part?
I think there's a lot of upsides to it. I think the specific for Denver is the community. The community of women here is just phenomenal. I've never met such a wonderful, connected group of women. So that has made, especially the transition coming here, so easy. And then consistently being here week by week, we're all in the same boat. We're all talking and communicating. So I think the community here has been the cherry on top, but also the travel. Like I never would have been to so many football stadiums in my entire life had I not entered into this world. But now it's kind of like a bucket list. Like, can I get to all of the stadiums and travel? And you get to sightsee within the cities too. And I don't think I would have been able to go to these particular places where it's such a sports town in most of the NFL cities or team homes.
What a journey it's been. Looking back at these conversations reminds me of the influence that is all about authenticity. Huge thanks to all of our creators and influencers who have shared this space with me. For more episodes and exclusive content, be sure to head on over to Wavy Plus and keep coming back for more episodes. Thanks so much for watching. I'm Tamara Brown, and this was another episode of Becoming Influential.